where I feel that Ubisoft games are best as a rental, because after a number of hours there isn't actually usually anything interesting to do, while a Rockstar game I can spend days and sometimes months getting immersed into the world I'm brought into, well worth paying $60. Another thing that should be mentioned is back in 2014 during one of Ubisoft's earnings calls with investors, where they pretty much said open world games are the road to go for them, and they want to capitalize on this growing genre as much as they can. This is probably a topic for another day, but why does every game have to be an open world? A linear experience isn't a bad thing, and if you're not going to invest time in creating an open world with more than just a main story, then why make it an open world? An example of this would be Far Cry 4, decent story and gameplay, but outside of that there just wasn't any compelling side activities, exploration, missions, or multiplayer in my opinion, while Red Dead Redemption had a magnificent story of John Marston and his journey through the West, compelling and sometimes bizarre side quests.
Come on in, have some tea with me and Annabelle. I'm sure she'd love the company.
All right, maybe just for a few minutes.
This is my other half, lovely Annabelle.
Much obliged.
This is a fine spot. See you around, cowboy. Damn you! Yes, many have.
Fun exploration and activities, a multiplayer that was beloved till modders took it over, and there was just so much more to that game. There's a reason why that won Game of the Year. It's not just Rockstar who's done this either. Bethesda Game Studios with Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, CD Projekt Red with The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Nintendo with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Guerrilla Games with Horizon Zero Dawn, and United Front Games with Sleeping Dogs. It is not difficult to make an open world game, but to make a good and enjoyable open world, there has to be things to do. The key to all the studios that I just mentioned and their open world game success was time. It's only been recently that Ubisoft noticed with some of their game sales that you can't rush out a barely improved new Assassin's Creed every single year. So to round all of this up, Ralph is wrong, but there was a time where I got excited for a Ubisoft game, the most recent one being The Division, which again was plagued by multiple issues at release. Now I'm very skeptical, and there's a reason why. The most common comment I see on a trailer for a Ubisoft game is watch this get downgraded, while for a Rockstar game like their upcoming Red Dead Redemption 2 is watch this get Game of the Year. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. Make sure to let me know down in the comment section below what you think about this. Do you think Ubisoft is better than Rockstar Games? Do you agree with Ralph, or do you strongly disagree like myself? But if you haven't already, make sure to smack that like button if you did. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, Michael or Legacy Killer HD back with another top upcoming games video for you. Today we shall be exploring some of the best survival games coming in 2017, from unknown indie games with tons of potential to massive AAA titles that have earned their reputations. This year has some impressive survival games coming that we'll be going over, but before we break down this list, make sure to let me know in the comment section below which survival game you are looking forward to the most and why. Nonetheless, let's begin at the number 9 spot with Heathen, and it's an action-adventure episodic survival game being developed by an indie team, Frog Factory. The game story, which is at the center, is based on H.G. Wells' The Island of Dr. Moreau, and it reads as so. The English expedition, Perry and Scott, discovers an island populated by strange and ferocious creatures, half human, half animal. They were created by the famous Dr. Moreau. Perry, a scientist and biologist, resumes his work. At a time when the abolition of slavery comes to grow worldwide, Scott, a wealthy industrialist and close to the royal family, sees huge potential in those beasts. Cheap, hardworking manpower, easily renewable, and gifted with remarkable physical abilities. In just 20 years in secret, Perry and Scott will create hundreds of these beasts and build an empire. Inevitably, however, humans will lose control of the island. The north is occupied by humans, trapped and hidden behind their walls, while the rest of the island is populated by various generations of beasts, which are often hostile towards each other. Most degenerate very quickly and fall in bestial madness. This is where your story begins. You are one of the beasts. Your task will be long and difficult: explore, develop, understand, and reclaim the island while respecting the law of Moreau. And this is a title that has been in development for a while now, and I will say I do like the story concept, and the only gameplay that we have seen is from alpha, so it may be a little too early to judge. The game certainly has potential, and I'm hoping to see it evolve over the next couple months because it certainly looks intriguing. And to the number 8 spot, we have Impact Winter, which is an open world survival game being developed by Mojo Bones. It's a single player experience in which a mysterious radio transmission claims that help is inbound in 30 days. You're Jacob Solomon, leader of a makeshift team trying to survive the aftermath of a devastating asteroid collision. The world you once knew is no more. Buried deep deep beneath the constant snowfall, your goal is to keep your companions alive until rescue. Some of the game's highlights include rediscovering the survival genre, strategizing in a bid to lower the rescue timer, and providing for your team and unite your skills in a freezing struggle for life, and lastly, explore an immersive and unpredictably hostile world. This will be coming to consoles later this year following its PC release, and I have to say this game looks extremely promising. Although this may not exactly be the most original idea, it does appear very unique, and I really feel there is something special about this survival game, and I'm looking forward to trying it out later this year. At the number 7 spot, we have Welcome to Hanwell, which is an open-world psychological horror game being developed by Natcracker. The game's backstory is described as when the anomalies, which are, I guess, monsters, first emerged, the Hanwell Council of Public Protection, the HCPP, was formed to keep residents safe, providing equipment and expertise on prevention and preparation. With the help of the HCPP, Hanwell became one of the safest, if most inconvenient places on the planet. But the council has fallen. You try to carry on as normal, but failing equipment and lack of warning has become a major issue. In addition to this, you are being stalked by a mysterious individual who seems to be everywhere. The rest of the world closed the gates and left Hanwell to rot. Thus begins your journey. The monsters, like I said, they're known as anomalies, roam the streets. There is an entire city to explore, featuring different environments, each more distinct than the last. From residential homes, old English pubs, parks, and a jail, all the way to the infamous HCPP Research Center. Each location holds its own backstory, leading to your arrival. Being someone who's never exactly been crazy about horror games, this one has caught my interest. We've only seen a brief peek at this world, but the backstory sounds intriguing, and I'm looking forward to encountering these anomalies, but I really do hope this game is more than just jump scares and provides an engaging narrative. And to the number 6 spot, we have Hello Neighbor. It's a first-person tactical stealth survival horror video game being developed by indie team Dynamic Pixels, and the game runs on the Unreal Engine 4. The plot revolves around sneaking into your neighbor's house and figuring out what he's hiding in his basement. But the opponent is artificial intelligence who can learn by himself, study our players' tactics, undertake counter actions, remember our players' decisions, and make plans to make sure we don't uncover their secrets. Now, I remember going on one of the social media platforms and seeing the trailer for this game, and it really got my interest because it's really battling against AI. And obviously within the house there's going to be a lot of obstacles until you finally get to the basement, but every mistake you make will cost you, and this AI is only going to get smarter and smarter. And it seems to be that everybody's interest is over this basement and figuring out what's within it. Let me know in the comment section if you have any guesses of what's going to be within it. Maybe it's a copy of Half-Life 3. Now to the number 5 spot, we have Little Nightmares, which is an adventure puzzle survival horror game being developed by Tarsier Studios. Already being awarded Indie Game of 2016 at Gamescom by Beyond Pixels, this can be one of the brightest games coming this year, and it said that we'll be immersing ourselves in Little Nightmares, a dark, whimsical tale that will confront you with your childhood fears, help Six escape the Maw, a vast, mysterious vessel inhabited by corrupted souls looking for their next meal. As you progress on your journey, explore the most disturbing dollhouse offering a prison to escape from and a playground full of secrets to discover, and you'll be reconnecting with your inner child to unleash your imagination and find the way out. Little Nightmares really looks impressive, and everything about it has caught my interest, as some people have even said it's like Little Big Planet for adults, which to me is awesome. Visually, this game is beautiful and the gameplay mechanics look great, and that's why it quite possibly may be one of the most underrated games coming out this year, and it could be one of those Game of the Year contenders like Inside was in 2016. But here at the number 4 spot, we have Call of Cthulhu, which is a role-playing survival investigation game being developed by Cyanide Studios. The most recent trailer of this game showed our protagonist, private detective Edward Pierce's submersion into the depths of madness as he investigates a mysterious death of an acclaimed artist and her family on Darkwater Island in Boston. The game will feature many Lovecraftian themes and will take place in a deeply immersive world with an oppressive atmosphere. The plot's more detailed description is that Pierce is used to trusting his instincts. With whale mutilations and disappearing bodies, this is only the beginning as reality becomes twisted. As your investigation leads you closer to the sphere of influence of the great dreamer Cthulhu, you will start to doubt everything you see. You will have to find balance between your own sanity and your determination in finding out what lurks in the shadows. As they say, that madness is the only way that can bring you to the truth. Being brought to life by seasoned developer Cyanide Studios, this is another exciting game coming from them as we explore this adaptation of the short story by H.P. Lovecraft. There seems to be a huge stress on sanity and madness, which are themes that will play a big role, and it's said there is some type of disturbing truth involving the great dreamer Cthulhu, which I'm excited to uncover in this near future. At the number 3 spot, we have Project White. It's an open-world Viking RPG being developed by The Outsiders, which is a small team led by ex-Battlefield and Payday developers. The game tells its story through the viewpoint of a creature rather than that of its Viking-esque warriors. This game will be taking in a diverse range of influences. Project White is inspired by monster movies, surrealist poetry, heavy metal album covers, and many other sources that fascinate the studio's team. But the main inspiration comes from John Gardner's Grendel, which tells the Beowulf epic but written from the point of view of the monster. As you can gather, not much has been released about this game so far, but it will be releasing sometime in 2017, and the developers are aiming to make a huge experience. It's not just killing killing humans. It looks to be much more than that, making the role-playing experience something different than a lot of the RPGs that we've seen so far. To the number 2 spot, we have Outlast 2, which is a first-person survival horror video game developed and published by Red Barrels, the sequel to the 2013 video game Outlast, and it features a journalist named Blake Langerman, along with his wife Lynn, roaming the Arizona desert to explore the murder of a pregnant woman, Jane Doe. Unfortunately, Blake and Lynn get separated in a helicopter crash, and Blake has to find his wife while traveling through a village inhabited by a sect who believes the end of days is upon them. Langerman is completely unable to fight and can only defend in scripted scenes similar to the original Outlast, and similar to the first game, you can hide in lockers, crouch, run, jump, walk, and vault and climb. Langerman's status as a cameraman means he has a much more advanced camera in his possession, one with clearer footage, zoom, and an audio detection system built into each speaker that can be used to detect distant footsteps and other noises. Spare batteries used to recharge the camcorder are spread throughout the locations. Langerman also wears glasses, which limits the player's vision if they fall off. The game's predecessor was quite a thrilling surprise, which is why this is at the top of many horror fans' lists as most anticipated games of 2017. I do have a few worries like Red Barrel's not doing enough to upgrade our next journey, but maybe following the game's delay this will result in us gamers getting the best experience possible. And finally, here at the number 1 spot we have State of Decay 2, which is a survival horror zombie video game developed by Undead Labs. Players will once again work together to build lasting communities and tell their own unique stories with an interconnected world that remembers the choices you've made throughout. It's set within an open world and played from a third-person view, like the first game. For the first time though, it will feature a multiplayer element that will allow 3 other friends to join you to battle zombies and form communities together. Some of the game's RPG elements include developing each survivor's traits and skills to improve their capabilities and strengthen your community, collecting resources to build and fortify your base, unlocking crucial new facilities and valuable community options along the way, elevate your favorite survivors to leadership roles in your community by heeding their advice and completing their goals, and unlocking new community benefits and objectives that suit your leader's ideals. And lastly, manage the relationships and goals of your survivors to build a strong community that has a lasting impact on the future of the world. A few years ago, State of Decay was a huge surprise, and it still is one of my favorite survival games. Looking to the sequel, it will be interesting finding out how this outbreak has affected the world outside Trumbull Valley, but this appears to be alongside Sea of Thieves as Microsoft's big games of 2017. There's a lot of hope that this game will build upon what made its predecessors so amazing. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to smack that like button if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, and let me know down in the comment section below what survival game you're looking forward to the most and why in 2017. And viewing into the foreseeable future, The Last of Us Part 2, Days Gone, the System Shock remake, and many other survival games are coming in 2018 and beyond, so this genre is only getting bigger and brighter. But once again, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you later.
Wait, zombies die from one shot from a fucking Makarov. Okay, that's good to know.
Oh, 22 suppressor. I'm gonna throw this mug off him. Oh, missed him. Gonna throw a brick off him. Hit him. Oh. Those are the physics from Arma. Was a good physics, you know?
What just happened?
Nothing. Literally flew to space. Literally flew to space. No fucking joke. I've never seen a body fly that hard. Yo, what's up, boys? Bit of a weird request before we get into this video, but essentially there's going to be a link in the comments and also the top of the description. I want you guys to click on this and just leave it idle. Essentially, it's my liked videos playlist, and I'm just curious to see what happens if you guys click on the top video of my playlist, which obviously this playlist has every single video I've ever uploaded. You can see right there, 3,800 videos, and just leave it idle, muted if you want. It really doesn't matter. If a few of you guys do this, then maybe it'll increase my view count. I'm just curious to see what happens. If you guys don't want to do it, that's fine. But obviously it'll, at the end of every video, go to the next video I've uploaded. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Yo, what's up, boys, and welcome back to a mod which I haven't played in a long time. This is Arma 3 Breaking Point. I made videos on this years and years ago. It came out like 3-4 years ago, and it's one of the best, if not the best, Arma 3 mod. Especially if you want to relive his old DayZ memories. I'm going to treat you guys as if you don't know what Breaking Point is, just for the start of this video, and then we'll get into some action. But essentially, you'll see when you first join the server, you get to select your faction. There's many of them, and we do actually have progression systems. You can see you can select to be a zombie, you can select to be a few different factions which will actually work with each other. Some factions will get points from giving people drinks, giving people medical supplies, and other factions, such as one I'm playing as today, the Hunter, will simply get experience through killing other players. And when you level up, you get different perks to be in each faction. It's definitely the best faction system really in any DayZ mod. Obviously the original DayZ mod had bandits and it also had heroes. Didn't really do anything other than visually make you different, but this mod has obviously 3 different levels for each of the factions, and those not only will make you look different and will have different roles regarding those factions, but it will also give you different perks, which would be